Today, we're going to dive deep into this medication everybody's talking about, Zepbound. Now, I've been on it for about 2 years now. I'm going to talk about like the top 10 questions people are asking about Zepbound. But before we start, let me be clear, I'm not a doctor. I'm going to share my personal experience with taking it, as well as some answers that I gathered from going to Eli Lilly's website. Your results may vary, so just keep this in mind. All right, question number 1. What exactly is Zepbound? Well, Zepbound is a prescription injection for chronic weight management. While many call it a GLP-1, it's actually a dual agonist. It was FDA approved in late 2023 for weight loss, and more recently it was approved for sleep apnea in patients with obesity. I started using Zepbound in early 2024, right after it was approved in my area. I had been taking Wegovy, but I had hit a weight loss plateau. I was having a lot of challenges with the side effects. I mean, the main side effects I suffered from was gas, bloating, diarrhea, constipation. You ever had constipation and diarrhea in the same week? It really sucks. Fatigue, dizziness. These were like the most common side effects for me. The gas and the diarrhea and the constipation, they were like the most prevalent. Now, I was stuck in a weight loss plateau and I was tired of the effects of Wegovy, so I read the clinical studies on Zepbound and saw that the side effects were less severe and the weight loss was much better for patients who were on Zepbound. After talking to my team at Form Health, we made the switch and I never looked back. I went from weighing 195 down to 165, so 30 pounds weight loss in about 9 months. Just look at these pictures I found on my phone. Can you see the difference? Question number 2. How does Zepbound actually help you lose weight? Well, Zepbound targets your brain to reduce hunger signals while slowing down how fast your stomach empties, so you stay full longer and you just aren't that hungry. In my experience, it actually turns off the food noise in your head. You know, like that constant chatter that's telling you to eat more food. It makes it much easier to stay in a caloric deficit without feeling deprived. And you know what else? When I was on the higher 10 milligram pen dose of Zepbound, I just really wasn't even hungry. I mean, I ate sometimes just because I knew I needed to eat, not because I was hungry. It was kind of weird living a life where you were hungry all the time and then that just turns off. It was pretty liberating. Not to mention, you felt really full. When you eat, you hit this point where it's like you've got a invisible belt around your stomach and it says, stop eating right now. And my biggest challenge after a lifetime of being overweight and eating too much food was actually throwing food away because I just couldn't eat it all. That's how Zepbound works. It just quiets your mind. And I actually could feel the sense of fullness, and it wasn't like scary to stop eating. I didn't feel bad for not eating anymore. I actually felt good. I felt like, hey, I've eaten enough food. I'm good to go. I don't need to keep eating anymore. And I did take some getting used to, but after a while, I got used to it and never really looked back. Question number 3, is Zepbound effective? The clinical data is massive. In a clinical trials like Surmount number 1, participants lost an average of 15 to 21% of their body weight. Now, personally, I found my weight loss was pretty steady, but it works when you prioritize high protein and resistance training so that you keep your muscle mass. And my favorite exercise for me was just good old-fashioned walking. I would take a brisk walk in the middle of the afternoon, and it left me feeling refreshed and energized without risking injury. I really think walking is great and I highly recommend it. But you've got to be consistent with it to get results. Now, once you really get your groove going with consistency, try taking a backpack full of rocks or weights or books or something like that and wear that when you walk. It creates a more anaerobic exercise. And a weighted vest works really good too. Now, I have a heart rate strap that works with my phone so I could get like an accurate measurement of how far I walked, how fast I walked, and my heart rate while I walked. If you start measuring these things, you start actually competing with yourself, trying to maybe walk a little further, walk a little faster than you did last time. So definitely invest in a weighted vest and a heart rate strap to measure how basically how intensely you're walking. And that way you can get a really good exercise, get your heart rate up, which is going to be beneficial and really helps relieve stress and helps you keep the weight off. Question 4, who can take Zepbound? Well, generally, it's for adults with a BMI of 30 or higher, or 27 if you have weight-related condition like high blood pressure or sleep apnea or high cholesterol. That's my issue. It's not for people with a family history of certain types of thyroid cancers, though, so make sure you check with your doctor and check with your family history, too. All right, question number 5. What about side effects? Now, side effects? Yeah, there's side effects when you're taking GLP-1, like Zepbound. The big 3 are nausea, diarrhea, and constipation. And most people feel these most when they titrate up or increase their dose. I've also noticed some fatigue in the beginning, but if you stay hydrated and take some electrolytes, it makes a big difference. At least it did for me. I also took my dose before bedtime just to kind of reduce the dizziness and nausea. But there was also no escaping the fact that every week I was going to have some diarrhea and I was going to have some constipation. And these were worse when I was on the highest dose, when I was really focused on weight loss, which was about 10 milligram of Zepbound per week. And in that situation, yeah, definitely had some diarrhea and constipation, but it was predictable and expected. Unlike on Wegovy, for me personally, when I was on Wegovy, I had moments where, like the emergency, gotta go to the bathroom type of situations. That ain't no good. Well, now I'm on the maintenance dose of just 5 milligrams per week. And I don't have severe bouts of side effects like the nausea, dizziness, constipation, or whatever, but they're still there. I mean, it still happens from time to time. But at the end of the day, I feel like it's worth it because I've been able to maintain a very healthy weight of 165 pounds now for over a year. So, question number 6, how do you take it? Well, Zepbound is a once-weekly subcutaneous injection. You can take it using one of these single-dose pens, or you can use the newer single-dose vials, or the quick pens that Eli Lilly released to help with supply. You just need to rotate between where on your stomach or your thigh or the back of the arm. And it's just a really tiny needle in there, I promise. It doesn't really hurt at all. I think it only hurt me maybe 1 in 5 injections. It's kind of weird. It seems like the left side of my body hurt more than the right side. And also for me, I didn't really like taking it in my arm or my thigh. It tended to hurt a little bit more. Now, I've not tried Eli Lilly's quick pens, but I'm looking forward to trying Eli Lilly's daily pill form of GLP-1, which is currently under FDA review. And I'm looking forward to when it becomes available for 2 reasons. Number 1, taking the pill's a lot easier than giving yourself an injection. And number 2, I'm hoping that it costs less. All right, question number 7. Can you take it with other medications? Well, usually yes, but you have to be careful if you're already on insulin or other diabetes medications because your blood sugar can drop too low. Also, because it slows down your digestion, it can affect how other oral medications affect you. So you have to be careful what type of medications you're taking. Now, I'm fortunate. The only thing I take is a statin to control my cholesterol, so I really didn't have any issues. But everybody's different, so be sure that you talk to your doctor, get a full workup from your doctor before you start taking Zepbound or any weight loss medicine, just to make sure that you're going to be good to go. Question 8. How much does it cost in 2026? This is a big one. Now, the list price is still over $1,000, but many people now pay, I think, between $299 and I think I saw $449. Now, you can also go through Eli Lilly Direct, if you're paying cash, and you'll actually pay less that way than if you go to the pharmacy. And if you have commercial insurance, you can get it as low as $25. Now, I have Aetna insurance, so I pay about $150 per month for my injection pens. Now, this is still a lot of money, which is another reason why I'm looking forward to the pill form when it comes out, because I'm really hoping that that pill form costs less. Question 9. How long do you have to stay on it? Now, obesity is a chronic condition, and Zepbound is a long-term tool. The data shows that many people regain the weight if they stop taking the medication entirely without taking upon a solid maintenance plan. So you got to think of it like blood pressure medicines. It's often a long-term commitment. So what is long-term? Well, I started in early 2024, and it's now 2026, and I've maintained my weight loss on the 5 milligram maintenance dose. But here's the brutal truth. If you've been obese most of your life, chances are you're going to need some form of support beyond willpower and exercise. That just doesn't cut it. To maintain your weight loss, you really need consistency. That's been my experience. Consistency is the key to making progress in anything, even maintaining your success. Question number 10. What should you know before you start taking Zepbound? First, you need to have a real plan for your nutrition. You need to eat, even when you're not hungry. That's kind of crazy when you think about it, since you're trying to lose weight and it really curtails your appetite, but you can't starve yourself because that's not a healthy way to lose weight. And second, you got to check with your insurance to get prior authorization. That way you don't have any surprises when you go to the pharmacy and they're not dropping a $1,000 bill on you. All right, number 3. If you're going to lose weight, if you're willing to be consistent, get help. Get help on your diet, get help on your nutrition, get someone to keep you on the straight and narrow, help you manage the symptoms that you're going to experience, and give you some solid diet and exercise plan, food plans, things you can cook, things you can eat, things you shouldn't eat, and people that can help keep you motivated. I used the team at Form Health. I had a dietitian who helped me with my nutrition, as well as a physician's assistant to help me with my side effects. And at the end of the day, I really couldn't have done it without them. Zepbound helped, but the consistency part really came from working with a team of folks who were professional weight loss people. All right, here's a pro tip. Imodium and senna are your friends. Gas X too. Make sure you have some of that, especially if you're traveling. Now, answering these 10 questions is a great start, but the number one thing that actually made my Zepbound journey successful was consistency. Small, healthy habits done consistently led to my success with Zepbound. I made a full breakdown of exactly how I did it right here in this next video. And you'll want to watch that before you take your next step, or maybe even share it with somebody who you know it might help. All right, that's my top 10. Zepbound's been a game changer for me in my journey to lose weight, but it's just one tool in the shed. If this video's helped you, hit that subscribe button and share it with somebody who might be starting their journey. Thank you for joining me at the playlist. And until next time, take care.